Listen, today we're going to talk about how to stand out, how to show up and show out as a tech professional, as a uh, software developer. So, how to stand out. So, as you are joining my live stream, I encourage everyone to leave me a comment, say hello, tell me where you're from, and absolutely, if you have comments, if you have questions, if you have thoughts, I like our live streams to be very interactive. And also, I'm streaming through like a new platform today. I'm using Restream. So let me know if you can hear me. So apparently you y'all can hear me. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if everything is working all right on your end. Hello. So, very important topic: how to show up, how to stand out as a software developer, how to stand out, how to uh, develop your executive presence. So, this is literally like $1 million question. So, um, there are three ways really to stand out. Well, really three ways to stand out as a software developer. The first way is creating content. And when I say creating content, it is really understand that it's really important to create the right type of content and the right form of content. Like, listen, if you don't post anything, if you don't create like any content, to begin with, like start posting something on a LinkedIn on a regular basis. But the content, the content that builds your executive presence, the content that helps you to stand out is a video content all day, every day, all day, every day. Per my, if like here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like the first way to stand out as a software developer, right? Let me overshift it a little bit. It is by creating your executive presence, not just because you can create content, you can even create video content and still don't have executive presence. Yes, you can create even video content and you can post every day, but depends on what type of content you create, what type of value you provide people. That will literally be $1 million question for you to figure out. And also it will determine your executive presence. It will determine your executive presence as a software developer. So the right form of content, the right way to show up and show up as an expert, this is super important. So and let's talk about video content for a second, right? Because LinkedIn posts are important. Articles are important. Uh, um, Articles are important. Other forms of content also can be a good contributor to you. But why I'm honing in, like if you join my any live stream when I or previous videos, I always advocate for video content. Why? Because when people see your face, when people see your face, something happens to the brain chemistry. Something happens to the brain chemistry. It triggers the know, like, and trust factor in us. So when we see a talking hand in our screen, we start develop know, like, and trust factor. No, like, and trust factor. So actually, I can just pull all of the. Can I pull all of the comments? Apparently, I can pull all of the comments. Okay. Show. No. All right. Moving on. I'm still playing around with Restream. It's a new platform for me. All right. So But when we see people talking to us, when we see people looking at us from the screen, looking at the camera, this is like we automatically bond with that person. Also, like, tell me if it is true. If you watch a TV show, right, a TV show or a movie, you immediately, maybe not immediately, like, but you create, like, there's some sort of bond happens, right? You like certain actors, you like certain people on the screen that you see, right? And this helps. This is why video content helps with no like and trust factor. And you can and when you share relative information, when you share quality content, when you deliver value, and when I say quality content, I don't mean fancy mic, I don't mean fancy camera, I don't mean any of that, because you need to start somewhere. Don't let the lack of tech, right, tech equipment stop you from showing up as an expert. Uh, don't let that be your barrier. Don't let that be your barrier. What I say about quality content is when you talk about what matters to you, when you talk about your expertise, when you share your perspective publicly. And I talk to many of y'all, and you do have that perspective. You do have that perspective. Everybody who shows up at my calls, and people that I talk to, all of you have very unique perspective, unique perspective, and that you can share. Like, and sometimes what y'all share is just gold, and um, the, and when you start just talking about your perspective, when you just start talking about your perspective, this is important. And this is how your life will change if you start doing that. This is how your life will change, because tech has so many opportunities, so many perspectives, so many perspectives. I'm not just talking about getting a job, because some people might argue, like, but I can land a job without posting videos, right? Like, yeah, you can get a job. Listen, if your goal just to go get a job, let me just speak prophetically over your life. You will get a job. At some point you will get a job. Somebody will see your resume. If you optimize your LinkedIn profile, if you optimize your resume, you will get a job. Like, it may take a while, it may take a little bit, but you will get a job. All right, I'm talking about going higher, because tech is full of opportunities. Tech is full of opportunities, and when you have your executive presence, you have leverage. You have leverage, and you have a tool that will lead you to the doors that right now are not available to you, because nobody knows you, and because nobody is aware that you exist. So that this is the and this is really crucially important. So let me give you an example. Let me order like a few examples, right? I'm being leveraging content, video content, since 2017. 2000, yeah, 2016, 2017. I've been leveraging video content. I didn't know about LinkedIn algorithms. I didn't know about YouTube algorithms. I didn't even know what thumbnail was. But I started creating content because my goal was to stand out. I was figuring out, how do I secure my career in tech and show up and show out and get all the offers, or at least I will increase my chance getting an offer. And I heard somebody in tech space started talking about create a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, and I listened. I did not know how to start a YouTube channel. I made so many mistakes. I'm still like I still haven't figured out the whole YouTube thing, right? And when I talk about content creator, I'm not an influencer. I'm not a content creator. I'm marketing my skill set, and I'm establishing my executive presence through content. I'm not a content creator. I'm not a content creator. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not just creating content. I'm marketing myself. And what it allowed me to do, and allow it opened the doors for many opportunities. Back in back when I started my YouTube channel, I was in QA role. So when I started talking about QA publicly, early in the days, right? People like recruiters started reaching out to me, and people would say, "I saw your YouTube video," and listen, it didn't take a long time for that video to appear because it was quality content, not in terms of the picture. And today, like I posted a video, a short video, and I in the comments I attached my like one of the very first videos. That video is not good in terms of in terms of the content creation metrics. That video ain't good, but in terms of what that video did for my career, that video was indeed very good because it led recruiters to my profile. This is all I care about, that recruiters come to my profile. So this is how I start leveraging content creation and showing your face. This is first one. Then I decided to switch to another specialty, to iOS development, and again sharing my perspective, educating people what I know, sharing my knowledge, showing my face publicly. uh, I was able to make a transition, and I bet you every interview or almost every interview that I went to, people would ask me about my YouTube channel. Like, oh, you have a YouTube channel. Tell me more about it. Oh, you have a YouTube channel. Tell me more about it. And that was my leverage. That was my leverage. And that is my leverage. Now, I go higher. I go higher. I decided in 2023, I decided that I want to share my talents, and I want to share my blessings, and I want to make difference in the world and in tech community as well. I started my coaching business. So I guess what? I started posting content. I started posting content strategically about my coaching business and put the work into it. And guess what happened next when I got laid off? When I got laid off, I got 3 clients. So, meaning I created a safety net with my content. And because tech, when you like, this is how you can leverage executive presence. And somebody in the comments, tell me if it resonates with you. Do you want to have that leverage in your career, that you that like the mechanisms that you can utilize to open the doors that you need to attract the right network, attract the right community, attract the right people into your network? uh, 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 Tell me if you and tell me if you want that. So my biggest challenge is identifying what I have to contribute as far as experience. So this is Jennifer, and Jennifer is in my coaching program, and I I I think that like this is something that we even talk about during our sessions, that start talking about what you passionate about. Start talking about, like, because you like everybody has it. Like when I start talking about QA, I didn't have the whole lot of experience about QA. I just start talking about what I'm passionate about. Like, okay, what is the difference between software developer and QA? Here it is. Okay, what type of testing are there? Like, okay, here it is. What is a test case? What is a test plan? What is this? What is that? And also I start talking about like issues that like really bothered me: the lack of documentation, the lack of communication, how like QA and developers, there's no bridge between them, and there's a gap that we failed how to communicate. Here it is. Like, you don't have to have a ton of experience to talk about it. So, but when you create executive presence, right? Not and like I'm purposely trying to avoid phrase create videos, create executive presence, because some of you'll create videos, but that video that it just won't do the job. It just won't do the job. But when you share your perspective, when you create your executive presence, and uh, to create your executive presence, to start sharing your perspective, you just need to start. You just need to start sharing your opinions, sharing your perspective. Just like start talking about what you're passionate about, right? You can leverage it. You can leverage it and open up new opportunities. If entrepreneurship route creating the safety net, because listen, one thing that I learned like in this economic cycle, I can rely on corporate America. I just can't rely on corporate America. I got laid off like on our notice. Like I logged into my work computer, and he was and there was an invite from HR. Actually, I was going live and that popped up on my other like on my other screen that I got an offer from HR, or like not an offer, invite from HR. And if I didn't have my business, if I didn't have my safety net, and well, if I didn't have that leverage, if I didn't have that leverage, I would be in a very tough situation because I was also moving from Chicago to Seattle. I literally had my stuff packed, like ready to go. The next day, I was supposed to leave the city. The next day, I was supposed to leave the city. Jennifer Recker, just so you know, is your testing automated? If yes, how you did it? Like that's a cool discussion that y'all have, and I have what I see your comments here. This is Kirill. Well, absolutely good question. So, but if I didn't have that safety net, if I did not have that safety net, then it would be really like that. Then it would be really really hard for me to really weather that storm. It will be really hard for me to weather that storm because, like, yes, severance package, but it takes some time to get it right. Like you have to sign legal paperwork and stuff like that, but also moving right. If I stay in one place, like maybe that would be more or less okay, but like moving from one city to another, like, literally the next day. So and also this is the leverage, like because you once you acquire experience, right? Once you acquire experience, you know what you're good at. You know what you're good at. Either you're good at like career path, career development. And I'm not talking about just resume and LinkedIn profile. This is elementary stuff. I'm talking about making career moves, moving in tech, like getting really good positions in tech, like leverage your legacy, right? Creating your presence in a way that you don't have to apply for jobs. So you can leverage that and teach other people how to do that. You can create digital courses, promote your digital courses. You can create your digital agency or dev agency and like leverage that. But also, no matter which path you decide to go, which opportunity, which is like there are plenty of opportunities in tech. No matter which opportunity you decide to take and go with, you need to leverage your executive presence. And once you master that, right, how to show up as an expert, how to show up as an expert in your industry, that you can leverage that. And all other ways, right? I say three ways. So we talked about content, but what are the other ways? Building your community, right? Participating in your community in public. Like, by the way, this is really big when you are in corporate and you building community and you are networking in public. You making like events like meetups, um, you organize community. You do something for the community. This is a very big contributor to your promotion because your work is visible. You're doing something that nobody is doing at your company, or majority of people are not doing at your company. You might even want to leverage your company and say, hey, like let's do a meetup, let's host a conference, let's do X, Y, and Z. But again, to move your community, to move things around, you need leverage, you need executive presence. The easiest way, the fastest way create that is by sharing your perspective. Period. Period. Because like you don't have to stop at corporate America level, right? You don't have to stop at corporate America level if you don't want to. But also like at some point, right, at the 150 to 200K season, you start thinking about where do I go, and if entrepreneurship is not your route, it's okay. It's not for everybody. If you understand how corporate America works, right? You need to build a strategic network, and again leverage your executive presence, because it's really hard for humans to dig into your profile. They will stare at your experience. If you have no post, no nothing, you don't show up. It's like, I don't know you. I don't know. I literally don't know you. I don't know what you can offer. So, but second way is organizing your community. The third way is, again, participate, be active in more intimate communities, in participating in open source, because when you participating in open source, also like you demonstrate your knowledge to the close circle of people. But again, you can leverage that. See, like, see how I'm connecting all other ways to your executive presence and creating like video content and showing up as an expert all the time. See how I do that? So, but when you in open source project, right? This is wonderful way to get to know other developers. This is wonderful way to show up and show out and show up your skills and get used to code base. Sometimes new developers might be worried like how am I gonna work, how I'm gonna work at the new company, and I have no experience in it. Like it kind of worries me. So but like participating in open source, participating in the open source, that like that helps. That does help. That does make a lot of difference. But again, right, like this is again, everything is content. Everything is content. When you participate in open source, or when you participate in any kind of community event, again, you can create that content, show up and tell about it, tell us about it. And when I went to conferences, I would like, if I had a chance, I would always like create a video. I would always like, if I could go live, I would go live. Always, always, always. So this is really crucial to understand. So three ways: create content, show up your face, and talk about your perspective. This is building executive presence. And when you show your face and start talking about your expertise, right? And start taking your audience, your ideal customer, your ideal employer on discovery journey with you, from absolutely unaware to, oh shit, I need to work with that person. This is where the magic happens. And that magic will happen sooner when you show up your face and talk about your experience. Second, organizing your community, like giving back to the community. This is a big factor. This is a big factor. And again, like if you have strong online presence, if you have executive presence, again, that will be easier to implement. That will be easier to implement. Open source projects. And this is for my software developers. And even like even if you're not software developer, a lot of community and a lot of tech communities, right? They open other professionals like to help out with different parts of software development cycle. So if you think that executive presence, right, in sharing your perspective, this is, and also like I will give you some, like I will give you facts. Let me give you some facts at the end. Let me give you some facts at the end. In iOS community, in iOS community, if you look at well-known iOS developers like Sean Allen, Paul Hudson, Kilo Loco, who else? Brian Woon. They all successful entrepreneurs in one way or another, and they all show they face, show up and show out on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. Somebody might be doing it now more, somebody is doing it less, but they all show out. If you look at other tech professionals who also leverage their content, for example, Clement, I think his last name, Mikhail, I don't know his last name. Algo expert. I don't want to butcher his last name. Algo expert. Again, YouTube channel, content, and he created a whole company by creating executive presence, by creating content, reiterating content, and sharing your perspective on a regular basis. And if you do it right, if you take your customer on the journey, if you take your recruiter on the journey from totally unaware about you to absolutely aware about you, and you educated your recruiter what you actually do, you automatically pre-qualify yourself. They don't need to look at your resume. I mean, they do, but they don't. But they do. You know, like they will tell you, like, "Hey, you're missing certain things in your resume." Like I heard you saying about it or talking about it. Like, can you add it to your resume? Like that will happen too. So, if you need help with executive presence, if you wanna create leverage that you can take beyond just getting a job, just beyond just getting a job, because getting a job is not an event. Like you will get a job at some point. Like you might want to work with career coach or not, or just listen to smart people on the internet, good recruiters in tech, and and implement what they say. Like you will let a job. But if you want to have executive presence, create leverage, and you need help with that, you realize, yeah, I want to do that. I don't know how. I invite you to my coaching program. So send me a DM. I want to make it easy for you. Send me a DM program, and we're gonna start a conversation. Send me a DM program, or leave me a comment program for this live stream, and I will send you, I will get in touch with you. Or you can grab a link and fill out the form, and I will look at the form, and I will get in touch with you as well. Whichever way is convenient for you, you can just drop a comment form, and I will get in touch with you. Or um, you can also DM me form, or you can grab a link in my bio and fill out the form, and I will get in touch with you. So I have a question. Do you have specific method or approach when uh, expressing your viewpoint on others? Excellent question. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You have to realize that people who are listening to you, they're at different stage of awareness. They're at different stage of awareness about your product, about their problem, and you gotta take them on the journey instead of, let's say, um, if you're promoting a product, right? Like I don't know, algo expert, or like whatever it might be. Like let's say you're like let's go outside of tech. Let's say um, you're talking to people who think that they're spending way too much money by going out, and it's not good for their health. So there's a problem. They keep going out, right? And you start talking about the problem, right? Or the problem that you're solving, you're passionate to solve, and you slowly take them from absolutely unaware about their possible problem, or the problem that you're solving, to, oh, Rashad can actually help me, can actually solve my problem. If we take that to corporate world, right? Let's say my example, recruiters who were absolutely unaware what I'm doing, what iOS developers are doing. They landed on my content. Oh, I like UI kit or Swift UI. Okay, that makes sense. And they start being aware, and at the end of the day, they aware that I can do the job, and I end up getting the call. So does it make sense? So you take the customer on that psychological journey with you. You don't just like, hey, hire me. Hey, this is what I do. No, you take customer or you take your followers as a journey. And also like when you start showing up online, you are not an employee, you're a business of one. No matter if you decide to stay with corporate America, which is perfectly fine, or you decided to do something on your own, or you start doing, or you want to do a side hustle, like I need you to have the attitude, the mindset of business of one. So, and as a business of one, everybody is your customer. Like your employer is your customer. If you're in corporate America, if you work more in one on one, or like you're selling services, you're selling courses, people who consume your services, your client, and you're gonna take them on a journey. You can't just say, hey, like I'm awesome, do this. You have to take them to the journey. So does it make sense, Rashad? I know I just like put a lot of information. But like this is how you do it. So keep your questions coming. Do you have any other questions? Because I know it's a very serious topic, and I know it can be a little bit confusing. Because a lot of the time when I talk to my clients, often people say, "What? But what am I going to talk about?" Uh, Also, like, "Oh, I'm not presentable." Well, no, like, listen, you are not presentable if you're not presenting. You just need to start presenting. And then your presentation style, you will work on your presentation style, you will work on your confidence, and you will evolve what you actually going to talk about. So amazing, amazing, amazing stream. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for your questions, your participation. Like, I know it's Monday. Like, I don't want a Monday today. Absolutely. And it's hot in Seattle. So, like, I normally have a get up, a little bit better get up, but this is all I got today. This is all I got today. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to fool around with that. So thank you so much for showing up. Uh, if you're interested in the program, drop the comment program or DM me just word program, and I will take it from there. If you would like to fill out the form, and so I can get in touch with you and schedule with you free mini coaching session. um, you look great. Hey, thank you, Jennifer. Definitely do that. Definitely do that. I would like to work with you, and like executive press is literally this is your lever. This is your leverage that you can create to make career moves. So thank you so much for showing up. I will see you. I will see you tomorrow. So I will post something tomorrow. Thank uh Kirill said, thank you for a nice session, Eugene. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. All right. Thank you so much. And bye, y'all. I'll talk